So there's been a lot of debate around the catch that Mitchell Starc took, which could have, on the end of day 4 of the second Ashes Test, seen the dismissal of one Ben Duckett. Now, it came towards the end of the day, Starc took the catch, but as is evident here, he took the catch, completed it, but dragged the ball across the floor before it was complete, and therefore the catch was eventually, whilst it was initially ruled out by the on-field umpire, the third umpire took a look and said no, he wasn't in total control, and therefore it should in fact be given not out. Easy as that. You would think that this is something that would have died down instantly, but yeah, that wasn't really the case. In fact, there's been some outroar and some, outrage really over this entire matter. But so massive was the outrage that the MCC, the Marylebone Cricket Club, actually ended up having to issue a clarification of sorts. Now, in case you're wondering why it is that the MCC had to, issue this clarification, you should know that you and me really weren't the only ones who were entirely sometimes confused about the rules. There were even members of the English coaching staff who weren't quite sure what exactly the rule regarding the catch is. That's how confusing it can get sometimes, given the number of rules that exist around the sport of cricket. In fact, this is what Marcus Trescothick, who's of course England's batting coach, had to say about the entire rule scenario. He said, "I don't think I understand the rules properly. But from what's been said by umpires, you've got to have control of the ball and your body until the motion is finished." That's the key part. You have got to have control of the ball and your body until the motion is finished. Therefore, if you go by this very interpretation, which is what Trescothick himself admitted that he didn't quite know, you realize that Starc was not in full control of the ball and the body, because if he was in full control of the ball, it wouldn't have grazed the ground, and the fact that the ball grazed the ground meant that he wasn't in full control of his body as well, and that is why the catch was eventually ruled not out. In fact, this is, by the way, just Trescothick's interpretation. The MCC took to Twitter to clarify the rule, and this is what the rule said. They said that Law 33.3 clearly states that the catch is only completed when the fielder has complete control over the ball and his or her movement. The ball cannot touch the ground before then. That last line is very key. The ball cannot touch the ground before then, which means that if the ball actually does end up touching the ground, then it's not out. They further went on to say that in this particular incident, Mitchell Starc was still sliding as the ball rubbed the ground, and therefore he was not in control of his movement. Easy as you like, the simplest of clarifications that could come really from the MCC, where they said that, look, it's not just about completing the catch, it's about having total control, which means that the ball should not be touching the floor at all. If it does, it is not out. Nevertheless, this didn't actually stop the outrage, let's say, from cropping up, because former Australia bowler Glenn McGrath did come out very strongly to talk about how he felt it was the wrong call. He said that, "I'm sorry, this is the biggest load of rubbish I've ever seen. He's got that under control. The ball is under control. That is a disgrace." Now, of course, everyone's entitled to an opinion really, but this one is about, let's just say he's not gotten it factually correct here, because whilst subjectively it's easy to say that the ball was under control given he'd gotten his fingers underneath it, completed the catch, and then actually slid across the ground. The fact is that whilst he was sliding across the ground, the ball also touched the floor, which means that control wasn't complete, and now the MCC have themselves clarified that this was not what the decision that was given by the on-field umpires was the wrong one, and that Starc was actually not in control. Therefore, the call should have been given not out, which is what the third umpires gave it, of course. Now, as I said, there was a bit of confusion initially, because this is not the first time such an incident has happened in recent memory. When you're talking about the Australian cricket team, you saw it happen with Cameron Green when he took that controversial catch off Shubman Gill in the WTC final. You saw it happen with Steve Smith as well in this Ashes Test itself, when he took that catch in the slips to get rid of Joe Root. There too, it was pretty clear it didn't, not necessarily that he was in control of the ball, but that was given out anyway. So it's good to see that the umpires finally got it right for once, and you would hope that this is the precedence that will be followed now, wherein if there is a part of the ball touching the ground, it is not given out, because as the MCC, the custodians of the game themselves, have confirmed that is indeed how it's supposed to be. You can let us know in the comments whether or not you agreed with this call and whether you're glad that this rule clarification has come out at long last. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app as well. And stay tuned to Sports Today as we bring you more such updates from the world of sport. For now, from my side though, it's goodbye.